It's Monday. Oh my gosh, I'm Alexandra Harbushka, founder of Life with Herpes, founder of alexandraharbushka.com, founder of the Secret Society Wellness. Thank you for joining me. It is Monday. I hope you guys are off to a great start. It's Monday. If you are not coming to the Secret Society retreat, I want to make sure you know about it because I was talking to someone in our group and she's like, I had no idea. So it is July 30th, 31st, and August 1st here in Las Vegas. It is a live retreat I have people coming in from California. I have some different guest speakers that are local. But it's 3 days of us together and 3 days of us talking about herpes, healing, have fun, just having a fun time together, bonding. I know that's one of the main things that you guys were saying. Like, I just want to hang out with my tribe. I want to hang out with my people. So we are making that happen. So you can click on the link in my bio to register, reserve your seat. There are limited seats, so that is important. Okay. So guys, let me get right to the questions and make sure I answer them because I don't have a lot of time today because I got baby that was trying to go down for a nap. I don't know if he did. Okay, will your CBD products test, will your CBD product, why was that? Will your CBD products containing CBD make you test positive on a drug test? So I had my products tested and certificate of, I forget what the COA, I forget what the A stands for, but I went down to a lab in Las Vegas. I had them tested. They all test negative. They test for less than 0.3% of THC. So you will not test positive. I have the certification, there's certs if you wanted to look at them as well. So that's a really good question because especially if you're in the military or things like that, you don't want to test positive for drugs, right? If you get tested often. So no, you will not. Constant BV thrush outbreak is as common for HSV too. So interesting, because when I was first diagnosed with herpes, I also had BV. I also had overgrowth of yeast. I had constant yeast infections. I had that all going on. It's awful. I understand. It's absolutely awful. So what I recommend is, because what would happen, you get on one antibiotic and it gets the next, and you just keep going through like this spiral and your body can't get over it. So what I ended up doing is I went to acupuncture, which is awesome just for overall health. Go to acupuncture. I also would put coconut oil up in my vagina. I use that to help clear up the yeast and the bacterial infection inside me. And those were two things I did. It's not because of herpes, but what's happening is your immune system is completely run down, and that's why you're getting it. Your skin is very sensitive after sex. What can I use before or even after to help stop an outbreak? What type of lube are you using? Are you even using a lube? I recommend using a lube. If you're not using a condom, I'd use a coconut-based lube. That's what my husband and I use. If you are using condoms, you cannot use an oil-based lube. You have to use a water-based lube. But if you are not using condoms, then definitely use coconut oil. I think it's the best. Also, probably a recovery soak would be good. That would also probably be really nice. From the Secret Society Wellness products, that would probably be really helpful. Does herpes outbreak decrease over time? You have back-to-back outbreaks. It will decrease over time. Your body definitely needs an opportunity to kind of like adjust and understand what's happening. This virus likes to attack our immune system. It likes to have outbreaks when our immune system's low. So if that's the case, I'm not a doctor. I cannot recommend or prescribe. What I personally did in that situation is I got on the antiviral to give myself a break. I was back to back to back. My body needed a break. I needed a break. I needed an emotional break to deal with it. And I just needed a chance to get over it. All right. Did I get COVID? I did get COVID. I got it back over Christmas. I'm back in the dating game, having to disclose to a certain point, of course, for HSV2. How long do you suggest to wait before disclosing? I'll be before sex, but otherwise, I recommend whenever you're ready. So for everyone, it's going to be different. For some people, they might be ready for sex day 1. Some people might be ready for sex month 3. Whenever you are ready or you feel that that relationship is getting to the next level, then that's when I would say it's time. I would say, or if you are in that point in a relationship where you're starting to discuss some vulnerable things, you're getting, you can just feel that the relationship is getting personal, you're talking about personal things, especially if the person talks about something personal to him or her, then that's a great time for you to be like, well, this is kind of why it's great that you brought this up. I want to discuss this with you too. Hey, you had a disclosed talk on Saturday. We've been dating for a few weeks. He seemed okay, but also didn't know a lot. I told him to do his research. You've been talking normally. Should I ask? Yay! You had a positive disclosure. That's so awesome. No, I wouldn't ask. I would just act normal, and when the next time you're together, or if you get together, and just then maybe I'd bring it up, especially if you're about to have sex or see if it becomes sexual. But I would just I would just leave it, give him time, let him just go normal, like talk normal. Don't ghost him. Don't be like, well, I'm not going to call back for 3 days, or anything like that. Just act normal. If he brings it up, great. Eventually, you will have to talk about it again. That's when, you get to the point of you're having sex. You'll have to bring it up. But if you're not having sex, no need to bring it up. Have you experienced any brain fog from COVID? I have not. I've heard of a lot of people that have. I have not. I've heard that was a big thing. I was really tired few months post. I was good, and then all of a sudden a few months post I got tired. Few weeks, I mean. But I've not, but I've heard a lot of people talk about that. It's hard to deal with. Some of the things that gave me brain fog were that were in my diet. I used to have brain fog. I cut out gluten, and that's really helped with brain fog. I'm trying to think what else I cut out that really helps with brain fog. Sometimes if you have an overgrowth of bacteria, that can cause brain fog. I have dealt with that as well. I know when I had COVID, all I wanted to eat was buttered noodles, rice with butter, basically all sugar foods that fuel any overgrowth of bacteria, back to the yeast, back to the BV, all that fun stuff. So that could potentially also be, I've had parasites before too. Most of us actually do have parasites. That has caused brain fog as well. So those are some things. What I did to get rid of the parasites, I ate raw garlic. It was awful. Did I get the COVID vaccine? If yes, did it bring herpes outbreaks? I've heard of people on their second dose having outbreaks because of their immune system being shot. No pun intended with that. I've heard of that. That's just I don't know. All of our immune systems are going to react differently. This is not a herpes questions, but where did you get your bandwatch from? Oh, thanks. It's an Apple bandwatch. When I got the watch, I just got it at Apple. I know I liked it too because it felt more like a watch, not like an Apple Watch. Thanks for asking. Yeah, it's about time. I got this. October will be 2 years. It's held up. I wear it every day. I wear it to work out, so it's held up really well. It's about time for a new one, but it's a year and a half into it. If my husband and I have unprotected sex, what are the chances of him getting HPV? You mean HSV? So HPV, I don't know. I'm not an expert in HPV. That's human papillomavirus. That is basically genital warts that causes cervical cancer or throat cancer. So I don't know the risks or chances of that. As far as HSV, herpes, if you are a woman with herpes having sex with a man who does not have herpes, you do not have an outbreak, not on the antiviral, and not using a condom, you have a 4% chance of transmitting it. So I want to thank you for all the stuff you post about herpes, things from the bottom of my ear heart. Oh, you're welcome. I'm so glad that it's been beneficial and helpful. That's all that I really want, is for that. I don't want us to feel alone, because we feel so alone when we're first diagnosed, because that's what the stigma is. That's what it made us be. Is it possible to have an outbreak in a completely different location than where it initially was? Yes, but not like, here's the thing. When you're first diagnosed, if you don't have the antibodies, you can transmit it to other parts of your body. It runs along the nerves, and so our nerves are like fingers, so it can potentially like move along the nerve, but it's not gonna, like, let's say I had it on my here, it's not gonna suddenly jump up to like my arm over here, right? It's gonna stay in the same vicinity. I was just using my arm as an example. You can have herpes on other parts of your body, but most of it is oral and genital. Antiviral medication causing discomfort, weird sensation in low back right above the buttocks. That also could be the herpes virus. The herpes virus can cause sciatica. That's very, very common. Most people don't associate the herpes virus with sciatica, but it can cause that. So the only way to know is if you get off the medication and see. I had never really experienced that until, like a few weeks ago. I used our Everyday Wellness Oil, the CBD oil, along with some of the backs of my legs. I did that. So it felt much better, helped. Can you take both antivirals and lysine as suppressive therapy? Yeah, the antiviral is an FDA-approved drug. It's a drug. Lysine is a protein. It's a protein that we consume. It is just a protein. It's essential amino acid. The herpes virus doesn't like that protein. It is a hostile environment for that protein. What are the chances of kissing your partner on the lip after your cold sore is fully healed? What are the chances of transmitting it? I'd say once it healed, when the herpes virus is dormant, meaning not an outbreak and no shedding, you can't pass it. It's when it's active, you have an outbreak, or if the virus is shedding is when it gets transmitted. You're not contagious all the time, only during those 2 times. HSV, I have an HSV-1 nurse practitioner said it's very common and there's no medication. Herpes is extremely common, but there is the medication that is an antiviral, Valtrex, Valcyclovir, Acyclovir. Those are the drugs that the antivirals that we can use to help with keeping it suppressed. Kind of difficult to tell when you're shedding and showing any sort of symptoms, correct? Yeah, unfortunately, we don't know when we're shedding, which is unfortunate. What can you put on your outbreak to help with pain ASAP? Yeah, I would use our Society Wellness products. They have CBD in them, so they help with the pain. Also, CBD helps with anti-inflammation. I like to take Epsom salt baths. If I have an outbreak, it really helps with the itch and kind of the tingle, and it also helps your nervous system relax. Those are 2 things. There's also essential oils you can use. I like to use tea tree oil. That's my personal favorite. But those are some things that I like to do. Can you have herpes symptoms but no sores show up? Yeah, that's called prodrome symptoms. That means that the body, it's just the virus acting in your body. It doesn't mean that you're having an outbreak. It just means that the virus just acting, it's your nerves. What does the Society Lotion do? So I have the Everyday Wellness Oil and I have the Positivity Lotion. Both have CBD in them. There's different essential oils in them to help with herpes outbreak. So the Everyday Wellness Oil has tea tree oil in it and other citrus essential oils that really, really help with the herpes virus. Do you break out more herpes when you get your period? That's very common for women to get an outbreak around their period, either right before, during, or right after. What are the best foods to prevent an outbreak? To keep an outbreak at bay? So eating anything that's high in lysine, you're going to have arginine in all foods that you consume. It's just, you can't get rid of it. But the foods that are really good are fish, shellfish, potatoes, protein, like lean proteins, eggs, dairy, vegetables, like cruciferous vegetables. Those are all great for you. Drink plenty of water. Love you too. Thank you. Can HSV2 get infected? I don't think so. You can use tea tree oil directly on it. It is an antiviral, antibacterial, antifungal, and it has a very like healing properties and antiseptic properties. So you can use that on it, but I've never heard of it getting infected. All right, my friends, I'm going to go. I hope you have a great rest of your Monday. Thanks for joining. If you're not coming to the retreat, go register. You go to the link in my bio, join the retreat. It's in Las Vegas. It's 3 days, 2 nights. Let's see, I'm hosting a cocktail party on Friday. I'm hosting lunch on Saturday and hosting brunch on Sunday. So a lot of free food, a lot of fun stuff, a lot of cocktails. We get to hang out. So can't wait to see you. And I will see you all soon. Thanks, guys.